before, saying, quote, JV's still developing his skill set, but there just aren't that many people in the world of his size. And you factor in his motor, he can really impact a game. Guys, we'll see how they try to deal with him.
Thanks a lot, Doris. So it's Toronto now, following the score by New York. Shot from the wing. Rebound by Smith. Knicks trail by 3. Calderon with it. 11 points for him in that last game against the 76ers in Philadelphia.
Yes, sir.
And we're just over 3.5 minutes into the first quarter. Lowry kicks to DeRozan. Pass to Buckets. DeRozan against Calderon. Fades back. And the rebound goes to the Knicks.
You just assume he's going to knock those down when he's as open as he was there.
DeMar DeRozan is starting to piece it together. I mean, we see him up in his scoring average. He's shooting it better. He's passing the ball with more confidence. He's becoming more efficient. You know, after a big extension from the Raptors, I think they've got to be pleased with his progress.
A new group in now for the Raptors. Tyler Hansbrough checked in for Jonas Valanciunas. Johnson comes in for Amir Johnson. Ross is checked in for DeMar DeRozan. And Lewis Williams subbed in for Kyle Lowry. Now here's Hansbrough.
Here's where Toronto sits right now in the league rankings. First in opponent points per game. Second in fewest turnovers per game. And they're in the top half of the league in free throw shooting as well. Pretty good, but they could certainly stand some improvement there.
Now, those are impressive numbers, but the big one, Clark, to me, is opponents' points per game first, as you mentioned. And that's just a case of a team playing extremely hard on a night-to-night basis. And it's also a well-coached, disciplined approach, because you can't play good defense unless all 5 guys are on the same page at one time.
Here's Buckets. Can't get it to go. So New York will take it the other way. And guys, when you look at DeRozan,
you're up. Let's go.
Time to do my thing.
104 left in the first quarter. Williams passes to Johnson. He kicks to Hansbrough. And he was fouled on the way up. 2 free throws now for him.
Tyler Hansbrough, known as Psycho T back in the big-time banger, seeks contact offensively and draws a lot of fouls, too.
And Hansbrough single-minded offensively, and I don't mind that. Hey, you catch the ball in positions he gets it in to score. Some would even go so far as calling him a black hole, but, you know, last season he was a little more selective, and I think he had his best season yet as far as scoring efficient. How in the world did they let him get that wide open?
Vasquez dishes to Johnson. The feed to Vasquez. Back to Johnson. Johnson right side. Shot clock at 5. From 18 feet away. Wow, way off on that one. Here's Early, guarded by Vasquez. And Shved kicks to Early. Here's Galloway. All right, the second in just a moment. And before we move on, what do you guys think about what we've seen so far from the Knicks?
And I thought the defense was key here for this club. They really tightened up and made it difficult on their opponent.
How about the help on the drives and rotations? I mean, they've really been in sync as a unit.
Buckets in at small forward. Terrence Ross is out there with Vasquez. Then there's Jonas Valanciunas. And it's Johnson in at the 4. That's the group for Toronto to start the second quarter. Here's Aldridge after the Raptors pick up 2. Shved the pass to Aldridge. Second shot opportunity. Early kicks to Shved. The 3. The shot no good. And it's the Raptors taking it the other way. They beat the Knicks during their last encounter in New York.
Yeah, that last matchup was really a tough game. And I thought the difference was they got some scoring from their bench, and they needed it. But that depth really was the issue.
And Doris Burke has something for us. Hey, Doris.
Hey, Kevin. Kyle Lowry was a hot name in free agency, but he opted to remain with the Raptors, signing a 4-year, $48 million contract. As Kyle said, you don't get many opportunities to have a team you can call your own. Guys, after playing as a backup for most of his 9-year career, Lowry is excited to have that.
54 seconds left to play here in the second quarter. As Steve alluded to, Clark, the previous matchup wasn't decided until the final moment.
Yeah, I recall that being a fantastic game, and one of the great things about it were those unlikely heroes from off the bench.
Clock at 6. Dishes it to Shved for 3. Galloway guarded by Vasquez. Here's Galloway. Amundsen, the pass to Galloway. Here's Shved. 11 points for him in that last game against Philadelphia. Pass to Early. Now Shved. And another shot. And 2 free throws coming up as he misses that one. Drawing the whistle and a lot of contact there. The Knicks shooting their 5th and 6th free throws of the game.
Well, one of the better free throw shooting teams in the NBA. They're hitting about 80% from the line this year.
And that's a little better than they did last year from the free throw line.
All free throws good from Shved.
There's not a lot you can say that hasn't been said before about his skill at the charity stripe.
Here's Ross. No good. And we've reached halftime in this one. Knicks lead by 6. And now let's catch up with Dorothy.
Well, Coach Casey,
Hey guys, some keys to talk about from what I've seen so far. This is a tight ball.
Now the start of the third quarter, welcoming you back in a closely contested first half so far. We've seen Clay Anthony Early really having a great game.
He went off in the first 2 quarters, guys, as he's capable of doing. We might see some changes here in the defensive approach they use on him in the second half.
Yeah, they've got to make some sort of change. I mean, they can't let him continue to torch him like he has been.
And on the floor for Derek Fisher as we get into the second half, we've got Early. Jason Smith is out there with Quincy Ace. Then there's Calderon, and it's Larkin in at the point guard position.
Toronto, Canada, the home for the NBA All-Star Game next season. And we know how global the NBA is. A lot of excitement and anticipation here in the T-Dot for the celebration of basketball.
And Toronto, guys, not necessarily viewed as a free agent destination in the NBA. But, Steve, it's a diverse city with a lot to offer.
And not least of which, Kevin, a vibrant nightlife, which I know you have enjoyed on occasion. But look, the Raptors, you know, they have a terrific home record, particularly on Sunday matinee games. A lot of speculation that visiting players maybe were out a little bit too late the night before. Who knows? Maybe you even ran into them.
Steve, where are you getting this stuff from, man? You
Thanks,
are
Clark.
reaching.
Clark and I are watching tape is what we're doing, right?
That's
We're
exactly
watching
what
tape.
we're doing.
Getting ready for the broadcast.
Enjoying the 4 walls of the hotel room.
Lowry passes to Buckets. Goes up on the wing. Knicks with the rebound.
Another strong rebound, just like we've gotten used to seeing from them today.
Yeah, 1 or 2 more of those, and this lead will be double digits.
Fast break Toronto. Goes up. And the dunk by Valanciunas.
You know, he can be a little awkward with the ball sometimes when it's in his hands, but not that time.
Why do you think it is we don't see more of those out of him, Steve?
I don't know. I mean, he's certainly got the size. He just lacks the confidence, I think, sometimes near the basket. The defenders need to talk to each other. The communication lacking there on that three-pointer.
Oh, we've got a moment here. Let's look at the last month and the Knicks ranked in the NBA. 10th in three-point shooting, 16th in assists. And as far as block shots go, not a strong suit for this team. only top 20 in the league. They really don't do a good job of defending the paint.
Yeah, this is a team that shoots the ball well, and I think the key is their accuracy from the three-point line. You look at that number in the top 10, as you talked about, Clark. You know, they've leaned on this of late particularly, and I think their success from the three-point line has really allowed their offense to open up and become more balanced.
And let's now go to the sideline. We'll catch up here with Doris Burke. Doris?
Thanks, Kev. Buckets in their last matchup against the Bulls made some major contributions. He finished with 15 points and added 3 rebounds as well. It was a great contribution from someone who is considered a bit more of a role player on his team.
All right, Doris, thanks. That really was a spectacular game for him, even by Steve Hill standards.
Well, those are pretty high standards ordinarily. You'll see how much it carries over. It's not a performance that will be easy to repeat.
But you like to have that in your arsenal and on your resume so you can call on it the next time you get out on the court. So I think it'll serve him better than it won't.
Been a poor shooting performance for him today, but luckily for them, a lot of his teammates have come through. Valanciunas, a young big man with some offensive promise. He can score on the left block. He's developing a nice touch from mid-range. Very intriguing player with that size and skill set.
Here's DeRozan trying to get open as Johnson. Right on that shot. With that, the Knick lead is cut down to just 2 points with the bucket from DeRozan. Calderon with it. Now guarded by DeRozan. To the paint. Here's Early. And he gets it to go. Valanciunas, a mobile 7-footer with good hands. It's a nice start.
It's always a great place to start when you're a big guy. Can you catch it? And not only good passes, but can you catch bad ones and finish around the rim? He can do all of that.
Williams, he's checked in for Amir Johnson. Bargnani is checked in for New York. It's taken away by Smith. And a fast break now for New York. And Calderon gets it to go on the assist by Larkin. Larkin's got his 3rd assist on the night.
Well, they weren't going to pass up that chance to get out and run following the steal.
They better not. They've got to pad their lead any time an opportunity presents itself. And I'll tell you what, that was a golden one there. And it was almost like he was surprised to be that wide open, yet he knocked it down.
The Knicks leading by 5. Into Smith. Well-timed pass, and he goes straight to the bucket for the layup. Smith's got 6.
Love the interior passing. He knew exactly where to go with that ball.
Here's buckets, and the Raptors check on 2 more.
And it feels like the energy has just picked up big time here. Both teams now feeding off each other's intensity.
I don't know what was said in the locker rooms at halftime, Steve, but it's obvious both sides have responded well.
Williams inside, and he drops in the layup off the glass. And now just a 3-point Knicks lead.
Boy, the D has to show a little more fight on the interior than they did on that trip. They've got a battle inside.
Well, this game has been tough, Clark. I mean, they're getting after it, and I think we're starting to run a little bit low on energy, possibly.
Early kicks to Bargnani. He dishes it to Larkin. 4 on the shot clock. Calderon has the open look. No good on the triple.
You know, he's been off his game this quarter just a bit. Hasn't been able to get a whole lot to go so far.
Lowry kicks to Williams. Lowry drives in. Williams passes to Buckets. It's rebounded by Bargnani.